Today we're unpacking, guys, how high achieving men engineer their success instead of just hoping for it, guys. What is shaking this morning? Oh, where's my music, Jimmy? Where's my music? Where's my music? There it is right there. Plus, we got Gary Vee sharing a foolproof way to build a system that fits your life, not somebody else's life. Too many times we're too worried about doing what that guy does or that guy does or what she does. Well, listen, Gary Vee's got some words we're going to drop on the table this morning, which might invite you to think about your life, what works for you. And we'll find out just if you're just aging gracefully or if something more serious might be going on, man. As we get older, shit happens. Trust me, you're going to want to stay tuned for this show. Good morning. Good memory. Something. Remember, like, subscribe, and comment on this channel and this show. And remember, this is an R-rated experience. So either usher the kiddos out of the room or pop in those headphones and don't hit snooze. You hit snooze, you're 9 minutes behind. You hit it twice, you're 20 minutes behind, and you are going backwards in life. We're here as your morning accountability partner to start your day right with laughter, insights, and real talk. And Enzo, I see you there in the future. Good morning, Enzo. Good to see you here this morning. Jimmy, let's bring in the boys here. Let's bring in Johnny Andersen. Let's see how he's doing this morning. Joining us from the wonderful state of California. Buckle up, boys. Jimmy, Johnny, what's going on, pal? How are you, man? How are you today?
Good. Just I've been doing my shit and, pushing down this path.
Yeah, there you go. Good morning, Cosmic Vision. Still trying to get my ambition back. If you don't use it, you'll lose it. Cosmic, you're right, brother. You're right. You just, but here's the thing. You got to get after it. And that ambition will find its way. I got a little riff I'm going to get into a little bit later on the show here in the deep dive, how I got it back. And Cosmic, it all started with my own permission. That I'll get to on the bottom of the hour. Good morning, Cunningham. Good to see you in the comments as well. Johnny, you've been back in the saddle for a couple days since your little road trip. We had a very intimate and vulnerable conversation yesterday on the show with AJ and reflecting upon what's going on in your world. 24 hours later have gone by. How's it going, pal?
So obviously, yesterday as we kind of established, clearly there's some sort of discovery going on. So I spent a little bit of time just kind of, I guess you'd say, I hate to use the word research because discovery might be a better word. But I started finding that because I definitely felt like there's some sort of, I'm supposed to be pushing deeper into myself, some sort of spiritual movement, if you will. And so I don't really know what to do. So I figured, well, shit, let me just poke around a little bit and find out, when people are on paths like this, what are some of the things that have been, I guess you'd say, believed or proven over time to help.
Yeah.
And there was one thing that kept coming up that I was not happy to see, but it kept coming up over and over and over. And I take a stance against this for fat loss or diet or for weight loss. What do you want to call it? It's fasting.
I know.
God damn it. So anyway, and for me, food is, that's a major trigger deep inside of me.
Yes.
And like going to bed without something in my stomach that's always been a massive hurdle. Like in bodybuilding, that was always the biggest challenge. I had to get my mind right to go to bed, knowing that I was going to be not satiated, or for that matter, even hungry. Yes. So anyway, so I pulled the trigger yesterday. I think it was basically 9 o'clock. It was a little before 9, but I always want to make sure that I'm covered. So I went all day yesterday, and going to bed hungry was fucking weird, because this isn't just missing a meal. This is not eating since 9 a.m. I know. And then waking up this morning was like, so I guess the good thing about it is it's definitely created some different shit,
literally coming out of your body because you haven't had any food, Jon Andersen.
Well, yeah, funny enough, I'm actually still shitting, even though I'm not eating, but I imagine that will stop. But yeah, just the idea of, I guess at very least, pushing into difficult shit. I definitely tend to grow through friction.
Yeah. Well, you and me both. I could not agree more. It's like, for me, I have to push myself to the absolute edge before I almost get my ass up. It's like, okay, I'm going to exaggerate, but it's like, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being dead. Okay, I'm at 9.8. All right, Billis, it's time to get going. Get that friction and embrace it. It's just fucked, man, how I've lived my life that way in some ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I want to make sure I'm real clear.
Yeah.
This is not a weight loss, fat loss, fitness.
No.
Journey.
This is a clarity thing for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's I guess you say discovery. You know,
Yeah.
you could say clarity is part of that for sure.
Yeah, because I've used fasting myself because I have, and I've shared my journey with you, and you know, I've seen you cringe when it comes to fasting and just the whole mindset of it. But you even reminded me that, brother, if you're going to embrace it, it's a good way to adopt the idea of discipline. And I'll add a few words to that: discipline, clarity, awareness. But I find when I fast, it forces me to dig deep. It forces me to have clarity, and I gotta be honest with you, I enjoy it. Because it doesn't make me think about standing in front of the fridge or in front of the fucking pantry or chasing what I know are bad habits for me. So it's like I make my mind up. No, I'm going to do this. So that's why I'm really curious that you've made this choice. I think as I've gotten to know you, I know it's not for fitness or for weight loss. It's all for up here. It's all for up here for you.
Yeah, for sure. And I definitely felt the difference this morning in my meditation.
I bet.
Sure. So, yeah, so I haven't decided how long I'm going to go. That's the interesting part about this.
Interesting. Enzo, yes,
I do know. Yeah, I do know that it's got to be more than 24 hours. Because I don't think 24 hours from what we know what happens to the body. I don't think that there's going to be any major shifts at the 24 hour. Probably, I don't know. I'm kicking around 2, possibly 2. I think for sure probably 2. I don't know if I'll go beyond that or not.
Have you been starting to plan in your head how you come out of it, and when you come out of it, what happens next, or are you letting life and process? I'm trying, which is totally not me. I know.
I'm trying to not figure shit out. I'm waiting for. I'm kind of like this. I got my antennas are up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of waiting for the signals.
Yeah. Well, the timing of it, because today's show is really about how I lost my ambition. So it's actually a great segue to conversation. Enzo, I do have a feeling that it was coming up to about a year ago since you discovered this morning show, and I'm really grateful that you're still hanging around with us. I'm still grateful that you're here in the community, here in the comments, and I hope you are doing well, my friend, and keeping good at it. Jimmy, let's run that Gary V video. Marty dropped a video in my feed. It was Marty dropped the video in my feed here, and I know Marty's got some stuff going on today. So I'm not sure.
It wasn't me.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I think it was Marty dropping it in my feed, or it might have been Melissa. Maybe it was Marty, but I know Marty's tied up today, so I'm not sure if we're going to get Marty jumping into the shows with us today. But Jimmy, let's run that Gary V video.
Ask me that as if that morning routine would work for them. I wake up and look at my phone immediately because I have a global company and I'm worried that Singapore had a fire in the building the night before. Like, I have responsibilities. Other people want to meditate for 30 minutes before they touch technology. That sounds brilliant to me. This goes back to the bigger point that I focus on, which is like, you need to figure yourself out. The end. Like, there's people that work 9 to 3, 4 days a week. There's people that work 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., 7 days a week, and everything in between. And there's ways to do it well, and there's ways to not do it well. Question becomes, who are you?
I found that one quite striking, Johnny, because on this show, and we, as we talk with folks all the time, people are looking for the magic pill, and people are trying to find. They read something, they like it, and then all of a sudden they're chasing what that person did. And what struck me with this video is as simple and as cliche as it is that it's just a reminder that you got to find what works for you. And it's just the journey in life, and you're going through it right now, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and I think the lesson to this whole thing is to just kind of be aware of what, a lot of times people, something like this will come along and they'll push it off because it's uncomfortable.
Yes.
And a lot of times stuff like this comes along and it'll push them into depression or God knows what it is, because they're not kind of honoring what's going on, so yeah, it's interesting for sure. I think when I went through something like this similar, I don't think it was quite as clear because I was younger.
Yeah.
I think how would I say? I have a little more wisdom now.
Yes. For sure.
To allow myself to kind of go through it. And, before I'm always trying to figure out what's happening, and this is happening. And sometimes that's helpful, and sometimes it's drastically not. And I think in this situation, just kind of moving forward and letting the whole thing unfold and waiting for the signals and this whole thing. When I say signals, it's almost like you kind of know it all starts to make sense.
Yeah. How was your brain when you woke up this morning? Your eyes opened up.
I was towards the end of my sleep. It was a little light because my fucking stomach was growling.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So and it wasn't easy to fall asleep either.
No.
So. But again,
I had no problem going to sleep last night. I'd been up for fucking 48 hours, so I had no problem going to sleep last night.
Yeah, but I think doing difficult shit and doing stuff that is uncomfortable because there's going to be some sort of I guess you'd say information on the other side. That's kind of where.
Yeah. Well, so let's. I got a fun conversation to take throughout the episode today. I found something quite humorous, which keeps it light on a Friday. But Johnny, so have you ever moved in with someone only to discover they have habits so shocking that you questioned everything? I found a funny piece of information, a funny article that pulls back the curtain on the weirdest, and I got to be honest, man, some of the most disturbing habits that people discovered after moving in with their partners. And I found something too, Johnny, which is interesting, that some research has happened, that research suggests that couples discover, on average, 5 significant quirks or habits they didn't expect before moving in together. And I found a viral online thread, Johnny, where partners shared everything. Get ready for this one. From leaving pee bottles under the bed, never changing the bed sheets, to folding wet towels, and even saving used cat litter for years. Have you, when you moved in with Terry or previous buddies, friends, or girlfriends, were there some crazy habits that you're like, oh, so that's how it's going to work?
Well, I think, the first thing that comes to mind here with me, is so we're almost kind of looking at some character issues.
Yes.
If someone is going to take a piss in a bottle, put it under the bed. They're too fucking lazy to get up and go to the bathroom. You should probably see there. I guarantee you, there's some other fucking signals. There's some other flags flying really high that you're fucking not looking at. So it's like, I don't know. Have I run into some weird shit? A little bit, but when it comes, if I'm going to let somebody in my space, I've got to understand that person's character.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, because it happens when I get out of my environment. I get exposed to people that I truly don't want to be around.
Yes.
And that shit is like fucking cancer.
Yes. Yes.
And so that being said, I've always been really good at saying no. I've always been making sure that I'm not allowing people into my circle, especially if I'm going to live with them, that are going to do shit that's going to be like disruptive to, my journey. And the stuff you mentioned, somebody wants to fold wet towels, I don't give a shit. But if you've got a bunch of habits that lead me to believe you're a lazy fucker, I just will live with you.
Yeah. Well, some of these habits, man, on this list, and I was going to have some fun to go through them throughout the show today, but like keeping pee balls under the bed, never changing bed sheets, thinking that it's unnecessary. I can't imagine how gross that would be over time.
I got an admission there.
Yes.
In college, dude. Granted, it was just, there's no excuse, keep in mind, I was single, so I had a lot of female visitors.
Yes.
Oh,
it's even worse.
Oh yeah. Fuck, my fucking roommates would peel back the blankets and go, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is crawling on this thing? But I would bring clean sheets to a semester, And I would take dirty sheets home. I would never a whole fucking semester.
Oh my God. Just fluid stains all over the bed sheets.
Oh, fuck.
Hey, you're hanging out with Keith and Jon in Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. Jimmy, we're going to get to the accountability check-in, and we're going to come back and keep the show rocking and rolling. I got a big topic here today, which is your partner secretly weird? Some of the shocking stories of hidden habits unveiled. And then center stage, we're going to get to a conversation here in a few moments. Guys, what sets high-achieving men apart? What sets them apart? From the guy who's not achieving anything to the stuff that the guy is achieving. I can tell you right now, it doesn't start with the snooze button. Nope. It just means getting up. Yep, getting up. All right. Here's something to think about, guys. What I got wrong about potential. Yeah, and what changed? For years, I got to admit, for years I thought potential was about having talent. Yeah. The right connections, the right plan. I'd look around and I'd wonder, do I have what it takes? Wrestling with my imposter syndrome, wrestling with my own mirror. But that mindset that I had was a trap. It made everything feel like a checklist that I could either pass or fail. And you guys know how I feel about checklists. Yeah. And when I stumbled, when I fell short, it only reinforced the doubt. Like I was one wrong move away from proving I didn't have it. What I realized in that moment was that everyone has potential. You look around, right? That's actually the potential is the easy part. It's like we all want, we all desire, we all have potential. But the people who excel, they're not special, and they're not above the rest. I'm not special. Johnny's not special. Marty's not special. We just focus on building a different foundation, developing core values that help give life something, meaning. Help us give life everything that we've got. And what are those values? Ears up, boys. Relentless grit. An endless curiosity. An unshakable hunger. And ruthless accountability. Guys, listen. Potential isn't about what you have, because we all have it. Yeah. Look inside yourself. It's about how far you're willing to go to get it outside of you. And what you're willing to do when it's brutal, it's messy, and everything, and I mean everything inside of you wants to quit. That's when you question your potential, and that's when you get up and you chase those results. So remember, guys, when you get up, go and chase that relentless grit. Go and fire up that endless curiosity and go get after that ruthless accountability. There's your accountability check-in this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. If that doesn't get you guys fired up today, I don't know what does. Yeah, I just don't know what does. Hey, Jimmy, the men who win. You ever thought about this? The men who win, they don't hope for success, they engineer it. But Johnny, I got a center stage topic right now, which is all about what sets high-achieving men apart? And you and I on this show always talk about habits, and some of this might be repetitive, but I want to create some content out of this, Jimmy. I want to create a long form, and here's how it's going to start. If you want to start stacking wins, you've got to start with the right habits. And right now, over the next few minutes, myself and Jon Andersen are going to break them down. And guys, how you start your day determines how the rest of it plays out, and it starts with number one, owning the morning. Guys, winners don't wake up last minute. Nope. They don't wake up last minute. They don't hit the snooze button. They get up and they get after it. They might check their phone. You heard Gary Vee, you got stuff going on, or you might not, but you don't wait till last minute. You get up, you get after it, and you don't hope things fall into place. You got a plan. You got a structure. You wake up on purpose. You set up, you wake up, you go. You get that sunlight in your early eyes, jumpstart your brain, you move your body before you start solving problems. And you get up with those top 3 priorities for the day before the world decides them for you. You're in control. The man who controls his day controls his destiny. Controlling your morning controls your day. Johnny, we talk about it all of the time, and you're going through something right now. But let's continue to lean into this. Controlling your morning is the number one singular habit for a high-achieving man to achieve his greatest goals. Johnny.
Yeah, I think, it symbolizes growth, symbolizes progress.
That's exactly what it is. When you get up and you get up after that next day, you're growing, you're progressing. And as long as you're looking forward, you are moving forward. Get that momentum creates movement. The momentum creates momentum. Boys, number 2 on this list. You got to train like your life depends on it. And that's not talking about, oh, I got to go crush 315 in the squat rack today. Oh, that's not saying I got to go crush the biggest bench press in the world. Oh, I got to go and break my back. No. Training like your life depends on it is as much a metaphor, because the reality is training like your life depends on it. It does. Think about that. A weak body is weak discipline. A strong body is strong execution. John right now is going through a fast. Strong body, strong execution. Strong mind, strong execution. Winning men don't just treat fitness as optional. They train because their mind, their energy, and their resilience depend upon it. You lift heavy at least 3 to 4 times a week. You walk thousands of steps a day. Your brain needs that movement. You're focusing on longevity, your strength, your endurance, your mobility. All of it matters. But as John says, you guys, you got to keep it simple. Get some squats in. You don't need a gym for squats. Get some deadlifts, some push-ups, some pull-ups, and sprints. That strong body is going to make everything else in life matter. And again, back to you, Johnny, as you're going through your life journey right now. And you said to me yesterday, you're making some changes to your training schedule, but still at the end of the day, you recognize that morning is first and your training is next up. It is the non-negotiable. Lean into the power of the non-negotiable about training.
Well, I think I don't know. I mean, put simply, we have plenty of non-negotiables in our lives. You know, we wipe our ass after we take a dump, brush our teeth. You know, there's things that we do that are non-negotiable, but somehow, some way, it's like the non-negotiables that most people keep is like the bear. It's what they need to survive.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
What needs to happen is the non-negotiables you need to continue to put them in there to where it's not just about surviving, it's about thriving.
Oh, I like that.
And,
I like that.
And when I mean, granted, the morning is different for everybody. You know, when we say the morning, it could be somebody that starts his morning at 10 a.m. because he works till 2 a.m. We don't know.
Yes.
But really the morning symbolizes first thing.
Yes.
And, I know in terms of being up early, that's quiet. I'm able to accomplish more. Yes. Even with like my meditation yesterday, my morning meditation yesterday morning compared to evening, 2 different worlds.
Oh, I bet.
Because by the end of the day, there was noise in my head. And I was having a hell of a time getting it out of there. As to where first thing in the morning, it's like a clean slate. We get a chance to kind of put things in place, get things moving, get a jump start on the day. And there's no question that if you look at highly successful people, the majority of them have routines, and a good chunk of those routines are in the morning.
Yeah. And I'm glad you described and put a definition around the morning, because some people, if some people work shift work, their mornings are in the afternoon, their mornings are at noon, but it's just this idea of when you get up first thing, it's your morning. And I would also suggest, Johnny, that if your morning is part of a lifestyle where you're working evenings and late nights, but your morning, that's part of that lifestyle. So if you're used to getting up at noon because you work late night, but you get up at 10 instead, but the rest of your world and your lifestyle is still sleeping, that's still quiet time for you. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
Right. So if everybody else still sleeping, but you're up at 10 o'clock because your world is still waking up at noon, it's still your quiet time. The point of our discussion here is your eyes open up. That morning needs to, I know Johnny believes, and I believe successful men get up, get after it first thing in the morning. And that is your non-negotiable to get after it. Good morning, Amy Miranda. I see you there in the comments as well. The other number 3 on, go ahead, Johnny.
Real quick, when I was wrestling, that's kind of where I learned that, because up to that point, I'd always been, for the most part, more of an early riser because the schedule allowed. But next thing you know, I'm not sometimes getting back to my hotel till midnight or 1 a.m.
Yes.
So it was the same. It was the concept of I'm still going to get up. I'm not going to sleep late. I'm going to get up. I'm going to get the sleep I need.
Yeah.
I'm going to get up and I'm going to start being productive. And that's the way I've lived my life. The time that you get up is really just kind of a question mark based upon the life that you have at the time.
That's it. That's exactly it. What sets high achieving men apart? Here's some 7 daily habits that I hope you guys get after and achieve those big ass goals. Number 3 is saying no more often. Again, we talk about it often on this show. Successful men don't say yes to everything. Hang on that, guys. Every yes is a no to something else. Your goals, your family, your energy. Before committing to anything, ask yourself, does this move me forward? If not, say no. And I got to tell you, Johnny, I'm going through right now. I got a customer who's been knocking on my door to do some stuff. And I was almost saying yes to him, but I was like, no, wait a minute. I can't do that. So I'm like, I'm going to say no. And you know what? You don't owe people an explanation. I can't commit to that is enough, right? So when you say no to somebody, or if somebody's saying no to you, respect it, right? Block off for time. Go ahead, Johnny.
100%. It's choice. You know, if someone decides they don't want to do something, you know, it's their choice.
That's it. You know,
and that choice might make you look at them differently, but it's still their choice.
Yes. And guys, the ability to say no separates the focus from the frantic. Most humans, in my experience, will say yes. When you can say no, you're going to win. Right? You're separating yourself from the frantic part of life, and you're focusing on what you need to achieve your big ass goals. Good morning, David.
And you got to also remember too, you know, when you're saying no, your world is going to react a little differently. You know, like perfect example, when you're saying no to your buddies that want to go out all the time, at some point you're going to say no enough, they're going to stop inviting you, and you've got to you have to realize that was your choice.
Yes.
And so you can't get all butthurt because your choices are making people around you
uncomfortable
differently.
Yep.
Because that's what the whole idea of saying no was so that you had the time to do what you wanted to do.
That's right. You know what, John, sometimes, good morning, David Kendall, 11 p.m., wherever you're joining us from. David, where are you joining us from today? I'd love to hear where you're joining us from. Thanks for hanging out with us this morning on Mornings in the Lab, or in your world, Evenings in the Lab with Keith and John. Johnny, one of the things I think humans, I'm going to lean on men right now, specifically don't consider when we're saying no is the opportunity cost to what we're working on when we say yes. So let me give you an example. I say yes to something that I'm really not excited about, but I'm like, okay, I got to take care of it for Johnny's sake. Now I'm putting that 2 hours as an example over here. I don't have 2 hours now to go and say yes to something that might be better for me. Do you know what I mean? And often we don't think about the opportunity cost when we say yes to something instead of saying no to something. It's like me saying to you, okay, well, Keith, it's going to take 2 hours for you to drive to me. Well, no, it's actually closer to 4 to 5 because I got to drive there and back. Oh, I didn't think about the back part. It's like the same thing when we talk about climbing a mountain. We celebrate getting to the top. Nobody forgets about having to go down, and going down is pretty fucking tough. Right? So when you say to somebody, I love Sydney, David Kendall, I love Sydney, Australia. Love that fucking city, man. Thanks for joining us there. I got to tell you, we got a lot of Australians that always join us. I swear there's something happening in Australia with our show. But I will tell you, Joe, we often will say yes. And then it's like, oh, no, I don't have time to do that now. So I'm saying yes to John paying me $1,000 to do something. But I now have no time to say yes to the guy that wants to spend $10,000 on me doing something. And again, I don't think we often think about that enough because we're too focused on making you happy, saying yes, yes, yes. When wait a minute, there's a massive opportunity cost that I've lost here. You follow me, pal?
Well, you know, it comes down to is people are deathly afraid of what other people are going to think about them.
Yes.
And if you're making decisions worried about other people in terms of what's best for them, not for you, you're going to have yourself a rough ride.
Yeah. Isn't that true? Isn't that true? Number 4, guys, on the what sets high achieving men apart, some 7 ridiculously simple, but yet got to execute them habits. Using failure as a fuel. I had this conversation with somebody a couple of days ago out in the hockey rink. In my experience, and this fellow's experience, most men get hit once and they stay down. Oh man, I'm down for the count. Winning guys that get up stronger, faster, smarter. When they get rejected, they screw up, they fall short, then they learn, they adjust, and they go again. Guys, failure is not failure. Failure is learning. And if you don't, what's that?
I'm just giggling because it's like if people would reverse how they look at this.
I know.
When it's raining outside, and you go out with an umbrella, you're going to get fucking wet.
Yes.
When you're trying to achieve something, you're going to fail.
Yes.
And so rather than focus on the failure, focus on the getting up. Because all you've got to do is get up one more time than you fall, and bam, that's what you're looking for.
We've referenced Kobe on the show often, Johnny, and it's almost funny where you want to say, and you know, the great Kobe Bryant unfortunately passed too early in life. But in many ways, Johnny, it's like we would enjoy the show or the content he would make of just watching him fail, because what we're actually watching is somebody learn, right? And it's in many ways, if we would reframe our mindset by watching somebody constantly failing, what we're actually seeing is constantly seeing somebody get stronger.
Good.
You know what I mean? Like that's
100%. I mean, 100%, because I guess people see the good.
That's what I mean.
They tend to not package the bad it took to get that good.
That's what I mean.
It's a package fucking deal. You know, Michael Jordan, I believe he still has the stat of the most ever game-winning shots as an NBA player.
Yes.
And if he doesn't now, he used to have it. So forgive me if that's incorrect. But when he had that statistic, he also had the statistic of the most ever game losing shots. So Michael clearly understood he needed to fail more than everybody else if he was going to succeed more than everyone else. And he pursued failure. I
would look at you. Let's make it really personal. I would love to have watched your journey as a strong man when you're like, what do you mean I got to pick up that big fucking stone over there? I can't do that. Even though you're going, okay, you know, using the word can't early in your journey, going, I know I'm going to. But then how many times you had to pick up the little stones along the way and couldn't do it, but you kept doing it and kept doing it. And then all of a sudden, months later, I can pick up this big motherfucking stone. Right. And that's where Keith, old nerd guy, gets this whole excited about the moment behind the moment, because that's interesting to me. How many times did you have to try to pick up that fucking stone 1,000 times before you picked it up? Right, because all that somebody saw on the TV show when it was on ABC Wild World of Sports back in the olden days, Johnny, of Strongman, it was you lifting up. It was you succeeding. It wasn't all the hard work that you had to put in to get to that success. And it's like the curated experiences, like sometimes we see in the social media, right? Oh, that guy's buff. Yeah, but you didn't see all the work you had to put in to get there, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know,
it's when a person is in pursuit of high level anything.
Yes.
If they're going to stay in pursuit, they got to warm up to the idea that there's going to be a lot of failure. There's going to be a lot of suffering. There's going to be a lot of grief.
Yes.
And you just have to understand that those are the signals that success is coming.
Yes.
If you don't have those signals, you're not fucking getting anywhere.
No, I would argue with you, actually, not argue, but I would suggest to you that in a roundabout way, without even doing it, you've actually gone through endurance athletics yourself, right? So for example, lifting stones and being strongman, there was a certain endurance mindset you needed to adapt and accept a failure for a long time before you were going to win. It's like, okay, I'm stepping into this world now. It's going to take me maybe 6 months, maybe 12 months, maybe 24 months to lift up that big stone over there. I'm not lifting it on day one, but there's an endurance mindset that you have to accept, which includes nothing but fucking failure, time and time again, before you might lift it up.
Dude, there's always something new.
Yes,
that's coming. So, in something new comes, even in the sport of strongman, they're always coming up with some fucking new thing to pick up, some new way to do it. So the process starts over.
There you go.
And again, I think if people just the body sends us, the mind sends us signals constantly.
Yeah.
And we have to kind of reframe that shit. Again, like I think if people would understand that, oh, Jesus, this hurts. So Jesus, I fucked up. I failed. Okay. These are the signals. Without this, you're not moving towards success.
That's exactly.
So when you start to look at, okay, yes, this stuff is here, but this is part of the path to get where I want to go. So you embrace it.
Yes. Yep.
And you start to look at it different. Most people will run from that stuff because it's scary. It's uncomfortable.
Yes.
You've got to push it deep into that to get where you want to go.
Guys, I can spot a losing man a while away. He's the guy that knows everything. Number 5 on this list, you got to keep learning. Guys, as you go through life, winners never stop learning. We're constantly reading, constantly listening. Listen to Johnny right now. He's going through a life experience. He's learning about himself. He's pushing his own buttons. He's surrounding himself with people who challenges him, who makes him question, right? You find mentors, accountability partners. But guys, I invite you to drop the ego. If someone knows more than you, listen, embrace it. As John and myself, we always say, and I've been leaning into, it's not really about being right. It's about getting the results that we want. That's what we all want, isn't it? It's not about being right or wrong. And the fastest way to grow is to shut the fuck up and absorb everything people are saying to you. The best investment you'll ever make is in your own knowledge. That's it. Listen. Put your ears up and listen. And the next one, Johnny and myself, and we talk about it all the time, is surrounding yourself with winners. Look at the 5 people around you, your 5 closest friends. That's your future. That's the people in your ears. That's the words coming back to you when you're speaking. Successful men don't waste time with complainers, excuse makers, or people who drain their energy. And that's what I want to hang on for a quick second here. I've been around enough people in my life who suck the energy out of my world. So you know what I do? Get rid of them. Just get rid of them. You got to audit your circle. Find people that challenge you. If people are pulling you down, get rid of them. Yeah, it's going to be tough. But
friend inventory.
Yes, exactly. And then the last one, guys, and this is the foundation of how this show is built. The last one, no secret here. No secret whatsoever. No secret, no hacks, just ruthless consistency lined up in number 7, which is what sets high achieving men apart. You're showing up every damn day. It's as simple as that. The men who win don't wait for motivation. You build discipline. You're not looking for shortcuts. You're building habits. You're building habits, and then you're stacking them. You're setting
It's never as bad to show up as your mind tells you it's going to be.
Isn't that true? You know, and I'm going to speak to our audience about you and I. Yesterday, I got 2 hours of sleep. I showed up. I'm like, oh my, it's going to be horrible. No, if I got 90 minutes, it was great. Johnny had a tough couple days. I'm pretty confident he got up today. He's like, okay, I'm going to go hang out with Keith and Jimmy in our community. Yeah, I'm actually feeling not bad with myself, right? But your brain's going to tell you fucking horrible things. You got to find a show up, own the day, every day, and magic will happen. The bottom line, guys, is you don't need to be special to win. You don't need perfect genetics, perfect luck, or a perfect plan. You just need to commit. Pick one habit, start today, and stack those wins. Because, guys, the life you want, it's literally built one day at a time. And here's the secret. It's probably pretty boring. There you go. There's your
if you don't show up, you don't even have a chance to get put in the game.
Yeah, it's so true.
It's like you got to do you want to be on field or do you want to be a fucking bench warmer?
Yes.
Well, the guy that fucking shows up, he's the guy that gets on the field.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys, let's do this. Jimmy, we're gonna excuse Johnny Ed here to go for a quick little break here, and then Jimmy, I got a little monologue here around. Good night, David Kendall. Have yourself a good sleep, brother. Come back and hang out with us tomorrow here, mornings in the lab, evenings in the lab in Australia. But let's do the deep dive. I want to get into a conversation here for the next few minutes before we bring in Jory, and then we're gonna have this conversation about. And here is. We're pathetic. Awesome. Thanks, Mumud. I love that, man. That is fantastic. I think you are equally pathetic, so we can all be pathetic together. I lost my ambition, and here's how I got it back. This is the deep dive segment of today. For most of my life, ambition was my superpower. Yeah, it fueled my ventures. It drove me to scale businesses. It drove me to travel the world and embraced each new adventure with boundless enthusiasm. It was like, go, create that momentum to create movement. But then there came a moment where the fire that I had inside of me as I was building ICUC fizzled out. And you know what? We watch movies, we watch television, we watch content on YouTube, and drama comes around it. But guys, I can share with you, my experience wasn't dramatic. No drama at all. There wasn't some single, good, Muhammad, keep coming, or Mumud, keep coming, brother. Yeah, it wasn't dramatic. There wasn't some single catastrophic event that I could point to and I could say, that's when I lost my fire. It wasn't going through life moments. Instead, it was subtle. It was this slow erosion of the drive that I thought, there's the key word, I thought once propelled me forward with this relentless optimism. Where I used to get up and wake up excited to conquer the day. But instead, I found myself hitting the snooze button. I found myself quiet, this unsettling emptiness, the very thing that I had always defined and spoke to with others was slipping through my fingers, leaving me confused and largely searching for answers, looking around. It's like, what the fuck, man? Where did my fire go? Was it an age thing? Was it a life thing? Was it I achieved my goals thing? But then I had a pivotal realization. And that realization was inspired by the wise words of the great meditator, George Mumford. And George has meditated with guys like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, some of the great athletes of our time. And he offered up this thought, and I offered up to a fellow yesterday when I was speaking with. And it was this permission with myself. It's okay to begin again. It's okay to begin again. And it was a game changer for me. And I'm wondering and I'm hoping that Johnny's going through it right now. Because I had misunderstood ambition. I believed that once I'd lost momentum, like I think many of us, and maybe some of you are feeling right now, you're questioning whether starting is possible. Or maybe you're accepting that restarting feels impossible. I felt the same way. And I can tell you that I felt like I was somewhat permanently disconnected from the spark that drove me. I'm like, where the fuck is my fire? Where's the spark? Why am I not chasing? Learning from Mumford as I was going through some meditation practice taught me that a shift in perspective was okay. And I gave myself the grace to rediscover old passions, old reasons, to reignite a flame that I knew was inside of me, to find some non-negotiables. And you know where it started, guys? It started back in the gym. And I've talked about it before. It started back when I met AJ Zeglin. It started back with recognizing and finding some non-negotiables. And it started back, and I had some emotion last week when Carter was wrapping up his hockey series, because that happened all in a facility that is very near and dear to me that I might not be going back to anymore. But it was a place where I recognized that I could begin again, that I could revalue my non-negotiables. And I reconnected and I created and I developed this business athlete mindset inside of me. A part of myself that blends fitness, personal resilience, and professional excellence, and permission to begin again. When I fall, I get up and I find it and I begin again. And it's hard because you don't have people around you acknowledging that you can begin again. You think that you can't. And that renewed approach just didn't rekindle my ambition. Guys, it redefined it for me. That ambition became about resilience, flexibility, and the courage to continuously start anew, the base of a new mountain, stronger and more insightful each time. I've talked about my personal journey through relationships and marriage. And when I exited one of them, I climbed a bunch of mountains. Why? So that it could remind me that I could begin again. Oh, completed a mountain. Let's go do it again. Finding my ambition along the way. When I left ICUC and I was professional dad for a few years, struggling with my own imposter syndrome, fucked up in my own head, I dug deep in my gardening journey, recognizing that I could begin again. And I found the ambition when I started the Business Athlete Performance Lab and Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. And then the ambition restarted again when I started hanging out with Nicole Bernard and I started this show. And then Christopher Martin when he joined me last May. And then the fire reignited again when Jon Andersen joined last June. And again, it was that continued permission to begin again and surrounding myself with these non-negotiable humans that would help me propel myself to that next level. So guys, I invite you, if you're struggling, you're stumbling, you're falling, and you're wondering whether you can do it again, or if you're wondering where that ambition is that you had, it's right in front of you. It's in your own mirror. I can assure you. And I can assure my brother right now with lots of love that the ambition, that fire that's inside of him is also there. And my job, my journey, my friendship to him is to continue extending that branch to him as he finds his ambition, as he starts again on his next journey in life. Jon Andersen, there's my story, my friend, about how I lost my ambition and how I found it. And I got to tell you, man, when this show was put together, I didn't know I didn't know that you were going to be going through what you were going through the last 24 hours, because this show was put together last week. I wrote this transcript last week. So the timing of it today, I woke up this morning pretty excited because I wanted to share this with you, because I think maybe I've been there with you. And I had to search to find it again, but surrounding myself with people like yourself, I'm going to get all musty out here, has given me the ambition, that fire to get after it again, brother.
That's good shit, you know. And it's funny as we've had conversations about kind of this little discovery process journey I'm going through, and I think it's because obviously there's a lot in my mind, a lot in my head, and of course we have this conversation. But I think one of the premises that I probably wasn't terribly clear on when we talked about this the first time yesterday, was the one thing that I do know is that I'm basically my self-improvement journey has basically called me to go deeper. Yeah. And that's kind of so I guess the from the standpoint of, you know, I guess when you feel like you're being, and kind of like what you were talking about, you know, you kind of hit that point and you had to open up another door of progression, you know? Yes. And so I guess what I'm getting at is that sometimes people will look at these situations as maybe, you know, stressful or bad, but think of it like this: you're on your way to finding a better version of you. It's actually exciting.
Oh, 100% it is. But as we know in our journey, it's difficult to accept and understand that the exciting part is somewhere on the journey. It's like when you were driving with Terry over the last few days, you knew that there was going to be an exciting stop around the corner somewhere, but there was points going, fuck, where is it? When's it going to be here? Oh my God, it's kind of boring right now, right?
It's not knowing part.
Yes.
It's like you know, it's almost like going to you know, you believe you're going to win the game.
Yes.
But you really don't know how you're going to win based upon the obstacles that'll be put in front of you.
Yes. To me, what you just said is the difference between, I'll use the cliche, winning and losing, or accepting and finding a way to get through it. In my experience, most folks can't deal with the uncomfortability of working towards getting around the corner and finding the destination. They just keep, they go in a different direction. Like, no, I don't want to go there because I just don't know it. It's too uncomfortable for me and I'm too scared to go.
Well, the word you just said is it's the discomfort.
Yes.
Because our brains constantly search what's familiar.
Yes.
Because familiar is comfortable. Yes. That's the way our brains were designed that way. That's what kept us alive. If we were way back when, if we were pursuing uncomfortable shit, we were going to get eaten.
That's exactly it. All right, Jimmy, let's do the lifestyle tip with Jon Andersen, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk with Jory. She has no idea, but I got foods every man needs for bulletproof immunity. That's the hook. Johnny, get after it, brother. Let's see what you got to say this morning.
If not now, when? You got to ask yourself a question: is tomorrow really better than today? Is later better than right now? It's actually not. But what happens is it's a habit of mind. It's a thought process that becomes very simple to your brain, and it's comfortable. It's, oh, well, I can do it later. Oh, I can do it tomorrow. Oh, I can do it some other time. And because it's so comfortable and it's so simple to say that, and you've done it so many times, it makes perfect sense. But in actuality, ask yourself the question: is tomorrow really better? In one of the things I ask myself all the time: if not now, when? Because there really isn't a better time. The time is now. The place is here. Just remember, the first step is always the hardest. And when you find yourself leaning into discomfort, leaning into things that are not familiar, this is where the biggest paychecks are. And I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about personal paychecks, your own personal growth. And keep in mind, when you become more, when you improve, you will get more. And that's how you go get the money. That being said, just remember, Ask yourself a question. If not now, when?
Most important thing here, you got myself, Keith Billis, Jon Andersen, and our guest, Jory Jansen, joining us here this morning. In the lab, we're going to talk the protein break. Jory, we got a big day. I'm sorry, John, we got a big day coming up on the calendar here. I'm just looking at something here just so I can confirm it. But I think that, let me see here. Oh, yeah. April 3rd is a very, very important date on the calendar. You were not part of the conversation on Monday when Jory was in, or Wednesday. But
what is it?
Yeah, well, I'm going to get Jory to share with you when she jumps in here in a second. It's a pretty big date for her. That's
isn't April 2nd some big day with tariffs or something? So we got two.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. April 2nd's big tariff day here. Yeah, that's right, in North America. Yeah, April 3rd is a big day in Jory's world, and then April 4th will be a big day in our world when Jory joins us on the show here that morning. I want to talk about this morning about immunity, Johnny. You know. What is your opinion on foods that help you help your body stay healthy, which helps you with your immunity?
I think that these foods should just be kind of part of what you eat. I don't think this needs to be. I mean, granted, again, let's go the reverse. Eliminate the fucking processed foods in your diet, and this problem will probably take care of itself. So it's like asking, you know, do we need to justify why we brush our teeth? No. Just fucking brush your teeth. You eat in a way that nourishes your body, you know, on all levels.
Yes.
And if you're eating in a way that you should, then your immunity is going to be strong as a positive exhaust.
Yeah. Now, there's some folks that are curious as to why does that guy never get sick? Why does that person always get sick? And I found something here which we can have some fun with this morning. But you know, science shows that your diet significantly influences your immune function. And the reality is, if you're eating a lot of crap, you're probably getting more sick than somebody who doesn't. Right. So, you know, you're looking for foods that are packed with those vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and essential fatty acids. But you know, again, we talk whole ingredient foods, but guys, some of the things that you might want to be adding to your regular routine of eating, and some things that are easy to get after and help yourself with is kale, rich in folate for that killer T cell production. Johnny, are you a kale fan by any chance?
You know, I do eat kale, but I think don't quote me on this, but I think we're starting to find that it's not quite as nutrient dense as we once thought it was.
Interesting. What are we finding?
Yeah. I don't know. I was actually just having a conversation when we were on the road.
Yeah.
I had this kale salad at this really cool little kind of I don't know, it was a little eatery, you know, kind of artsy little place. And so I had this kale, and Terry just said that she just in a kind of loose conversation, she said, yeah, I think we're discovering that kale may not be what we once thought it was.
Interesting. We'll have to do a little bit of research into the idea. And admittedly, Johnny, so again, we're same age. We grew up in a world where kale wasn't even part of our nutrition. Yet with kale, what, last 20 years, 25 years, probably?
Yeah, probably.
Like when you think about it, right? We grew up, there's no kale salads, you and I growing up. That wasn't part of what we were eating.
Yeah.
People weren't talking kale salads, right? So
honestly, I don't know if that's the truth, you know, but it's just, it was just kind of a conversation, but it would make sense, because as we move forward, we start to realize, oh, we once thought this, now we realize this.
Yes, absolutely. Guys, next obvious one to keep yourself healthy is get those citrus fruits inside you. Very essential for the white blood. These are obvious, but again, much of the stuff we talk about here in the show is obvious, but what I'm hoping happens is you're hearing us talk about it as you're planning your day or you're going through your day. We're thinking, oh, I heard John and Keith talk about this. Maybe I'll have a kale salad today, or maybe I'll have some broccoli with my meal today. Listen, guys, I hate broccoli, but the reality is broccoli is good for me. It's packed.
What do you do, broccoli?
Broccoli is not one of my most favorite vegetables, but when Lauren puts it on my plate, I certainly enjoy it because it's packed with.
Then you quickly usher out the word hate when it comes to that food.
You're the best person to keep me accountable to that, my brother. Packed for antibodies and T cell support, and we got Jory on the show here with us right now. Jory, what's shaking, girl?
Listening to the conversations going on. Good stuff.
Yes. So I teased Johnny that there's a very, very important date coming up on the calendar during next week. And that's not just important. It's not just tariff days in North America on April 2nd, but April 3rd is a very monumental day in your world. And I thought that maybe you could take a second to tell Johnny about how important April 3rd is for you personally, and how excited you are coming up to it, and what's going to happen and change for you and your family, Jory Jansen, on April 3rd, 2025.
So it's been 8 months, and it's been a lot of negotiations, letting myself down, possibly the people around me. And so I finally connected with a friend to find out, who can I go to? Who can I go see? Because I need somebody. I need somebody good. So I made a phone call yesterday.
Yeah.
And April 3rd, I'm getting my hair done.
Be a little more descriptive with getting your hair done.
I'm going to separate myself from my roots.
Yes. Johnny, she's going to be 50 next year, and she was showing us her hair last week. First of all, I was like, "You're going to be 50?" I would not have put that on you. I think you told me that when we hung out a couple weeks ago, but I would not have put that on you at all, frankly. And then secondly, she's like, "Yeah, I got some gray hair." And Marty and I are like, "Where?" She's like, "Well, I haven't had my hair done in months."
Okay.
So then I get this text out of the blue yesterday. She's like, "Keith, I got it booked." She's like, "I'm getting my hair done." I'm like, "Oh, good job, girl."
Yeah. I'll probably get like a lot of the shagginess cut off and get it, like maybe a little bit more of the natural color versus the bright highlighted stuff. But yeah, we'll see. But it's kind of silly, but yet it's part of what's important to you for self-care, right?
Yeah.
And so that's just one example of what can be let go. And I know it seems like a silly thing, and we're building it up and whatever, and I have fun with it. But that's something that's been really important to me, and it's bothered me for months. But I haven't made the switch to kind of do the research. Who am I going to go to? Perimenopause, hormones change things, hair texture changes, things just change. And so I found someone, and I'm pretty pumped. I'm going to go do this, and it's an investment, financial.
Well, that's it too. Yes.
Like hundreds of dollars.
Yes.
To do that.
I got 3. I should say 4, including all 3 daughters and the wife. But for the primary, when there was a very long period of time, all 3 of them were getting their hair done very often. So I'm very familiar with the cost of these ventures.
Well, I remember it used to be $75. And now it's like 300 or more.
Well, the thing about it is this is something that, we all have things that we do that make us, I don't know, call it, feel like our boxes are checked, feel good, and if this is one of those, if this somehow is joined, your boxes to check, good for you.
Yeah. I could continue to let it just keep growing out, but I think I'm just going to blend it. But yeah, no, but it was just one thing. We were talking about regrets, and I said one of the regrets is that I keep putting off a simple thing like going and getting my hair done.
Oh, there we go. You got to handle that.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was just, some things can be small, but they can build up into big things. And the hair thing is just one example of just something very superficial, perhaps, but it can all add up. Right.
I love it. Hey, Jory, we've been talking this morning about few foods that help with immunity. And obviously we're, the values we speak of on the show are single ingredient, whole foods, and keep away from the processed stuff, the cliche, the regular stuff. But again, it's always about creating awareness and maybe giving something to think about as they go through the day, going, yeah, okay, maybe I'll have some sardines, or maybe have some eggs. But Jory, I got a list of foods here. Is there something that jumps out at you so I'm going to quickly list some for you. Give me something that might not be on this list that you talk to your clients about that's really good for us. We talk broccoli, citrus fruits, eggs, sardines, sweet potatoes, liver, which is nutrient dense, crucial for, T cell production, vitamin A, strawberries, vitamin C, oysters, high in zinc and selenium, pumpkin seeds packed with zinc and vitamin E, blueberries, antiviral, chicken, obviously amino acids. Are there some go-tos for you, Jor, that you're always including or recommending to your clients to just dig into to help themselves feel better about themselves?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not one of those, but
Yeah.
the variety. More
Yes.
research is showing that the more variety of plant sources you get into your diet and on a daily basis, getting a variety, then
Yes.
that's where it's going to be different. The other part too, and I know that both of you will agree with this, and the science is there, is that nutrition is important, but in terms of building that immune system, decreasing inflammation, getting those antibodies going, those fighter cells to fight infection. Exercise
Yeah.
does that.
Yes.
So I think we can do the nutrition. There's no such thing as a superfood. You can't just eat one food and get everything. That just does not exist. So your list, if the listeners can find, ones that they're comfortable with, they can afford, they can look up how to prepare them if they don't know how to store them. Get variety. The more variety of these whole foods that you can get in, the more likely you're going to be the healthiest version of you, including sleep has an impact on inflammation, which has an impact on your immune system, exercise, nutrition. So it's to say just the one thing, it's just not true. And if we're questioning like how do these people never get sick or seems like they rarely ever get sick, it's probably because they've got their non-negotiables of
Yes.
the nutrition, of the sleep, of the exercise, and then of course the mental health piece too, right? So who do you socialize with? Who's in your small circle to make sure that you're staying positive more often than not, that you have an outlet when you're not feeling so positive. So it's a whole lifestyle approach that keeps you the healthiest version of you.
Yeah. Remember, guys, great health is built one meal at a time, one non-negotiable at a time. I invite you to be proactive about what you eat.
And if that whole everything Jory said that was so perfect, 100%. If that seems a little daunting, trying to find all this variety, just remove processed foods, focus on eating whole real foods, and that's a massive step in the right direction. Obviously, maybe phase 2 is trying to find all your variety, but just removing the processed foods, focusing on whole foods, you probably start to sleep better just from that alone.
There you go.
Yeah, that's true. I think that some people find that if they eat the same few things for a while, it decreases stress, right? And so they're not overwhelmed. So if
Yes.
they're eating their chicken and broccoli, I'm like, how often can you eat chicken and broccoli? But you know what? Sometimes chicken, broccoli, and sweet potato is what you're going to do for a while. Fantastic. Do that. And then keep building, right? So
Yeah.
you got to get the
Yes.
foundation. So thanks for bringing that up, John. I think that's really good.
Awesome. Hey, you're hanging out with Keith, John, and Jory here this morning on Mornings in the Lab. Jory, we kicked the show off this morning here. I want to keep it for a couple minutes if you can. We kicked the show off here this morning with is your partner secretly weird? I found a fun story this morning, which was shocking stories of hidden habits from partners. And apparently, Jory, research tells us that couples discover, and I'm curious what you and Kurt, on average, 5 significant quirks or habits they didn't expect before moving in with them. Was there anything that jumped out of your, you and Kurt start living together, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's what it's like? Was there something weird that popped up for you? And just some things for you to think about was, some of the folks in this list where some people keep pee balls under the bed, never changing bed sheets, obsessively organizing random items, allowing dogs to use the carpet as a toilet, folding wet towels and storing them. Jory, is there anything that kind of jumps out at you and you're like, oh, okay, so that's the man I've married? Jory.
I feel kind of bad because he's not here to defend himself, right? And then he could also say the same.
What would he say about you? What would he say about you? He's like, oh, so that's the woman I married today.
I don't know if they were shockers per se.
Yeah.
But a reality check of what you're willing to kind of let go of.
Yeah.
Because it's like exciting when the relationships begin, and you can handle the annoying chewing or the emotional outburst.
Yes.
About both of us.
Yes.
So I think that it's more of when you're together and you're like, this is it. It's
yes.
Like, wow. That eating is really loud. Or wow, she's like super emotional over something that's like no big deal, right? So I think it works. It's just more of you get comfortable and you can just get things just become more heightened, right? And you have to just make a decision of do I want to date again? 100% not.
Yes.
I do not want to ever have to date again, other than dating my husband.
Yes.
But outside of that, no.
I
I've
love
never
the
been
quirks.
a huge dater. Like
Yes.
no.
But I love the quirks. So I know Lauren was like, oh, my quirks drive Keith nuts. Sure, but I love her because of the quirk. I love the quirks.
Yeah.
Like that's what makes like John, like I love John because of his quirks. I love you because of the little quirks that I'm getting to know. And that's to me, that's the formation of a wonderful relationship with somebody.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes us who we are, right? Our yin and yang, and we balance each other out. Absolutely. I think that, there's lots of things. Kurt has settled in certain ways. I didn't realize that when we got married that he was going to be cleaning up after people before they've even left our party yet. Right. And it's like just, people are going to go back for their glass, just leave it alone. Right?
Yes. Well, you know what's funny about it too is that when you get to know somebody really close and you start living with somebody is that their quirks are as representative of their parents. So when you get to know their parents too, you're like, oh, I see why you have that behavior because you're actually your dad or you're actually your mom.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, it's also kind of easy. Like one of the things that I look at, especially when it comes to making a relationship, making a relationship work. If I throw a stone, and I've opened up, now the fucking game is on. If I throw a stone's coming back. So it's just easier to kind of just accept.
Yeah, yes. Some of these on the list, man, that I saw, like wiping teeth with guest towels, biting nails and scattering the pieces. That might be a habit I've had, a bad habit, I will admit. Extreme toilet paper consumption, right? Some people using up full rolls. Well, Johnny doesn't have that problem, he uses the bidet. But pimple residue left all over the mirrors. Right? Like some of these you're like, oh, okay. I know one that I know I would drive Lauren nuts with. Like when I take my socks off and when we do laundry, whether I'm doing laundry or Lauren's doing laundry, I don't revert the socks outside in. But
I'm the same. I just take shit off and throw it in the hamper.
But Johnny, here's my argument to that. So Jerry, here's the question for you. What's dirty? The inside of the sock or the outside of the sock that's walking on the floor? Because
both dirty.
Right. If you've got a good washing machine, the whole thing should get clean no matter what.
I agree with Johnny. So why should I flip them inside and out? I'm just going to take them off my feet and throw them into the wash and they're going to be washed.
Yes. That's the school I subscribe to.
You have to flip them back. I don't know. I had a friend that was very much about that as well. And to me, I'm like grateful that someone else is going to help with the laundry. So I just kind of like, let's just get the laundry done. Okay.
So I just realized there's one on the list here that I didn't see here that I know for sure I drove Laura nuts about with this one. I just saw it here. But so I'm a contact lens wearer. And I have a bad habit at nighttime when I take my contacts out just to flick them onto the side of the bed or onto the nightstand, and they have to often end up on the floor. Johnny, don't judge. And then I'll clean them up every now and then. But there's sometimes just a pile of fucking contacts. And Lauren's like, that's gross. I'm like, yeah, but they're just.
Are they disposable? You don't use them again, I'm assuming.
Yeah, they're disposable. Yeah. And I just, every time and then I just collect up this pile on my desk and throw them in the garbage. But there's a habit there where I just will pull them out, and 'cause I'm tired, I just pull them out and just flick them to the side there. But yeah, it's just like, that's gross. But I'm like, no, just pieces.
Well, here's an interesting thought, though, brother. Because to take them off and put them to the side, or take them off to put them in the trash, the time really won't be any different. So all you're doing is you're guaranteeing that you're wasting a few seconds of your life by having to go back.
Thanks, Uncle John. I know that I'm adding a step. I know that if I just took them out and threw them into the garbage, I would eliminate a step and gain some time in my life. I know that, my OCD brother. I know. But I'm still
think of this as like a miniature snooze button, brother.
That's it.
It's not 9 minutes. It's only 3 seconds, but it's the same concept.
I know. And it's attached to laziness. I get it. I just thought it was funny because we don't talk about that often, but when we get to know a new partner, we move in with somebody, we're like, oh, that's a new habit I wasn't considering that was going to be part of my life now. Right.
Well, and sometimes we do this stuff and we don't even really know we're doing it because we've done it enough that it seems normal.
Yes. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. All right. Well, listen, let's keep it going here. Jory, what do you got going on today? What do you got going on for the weekend there, kid?
Surprise, surprise, more volleyball tournaments.
Awesome. That's fun.
Yeah, no, it's totally fun. And my usual work, which, I mean, I don't mean to sound like that. I think it's boring, but it's just my usual work.
Boring is good though. We're on the boring train. Boring is good, man. You love your work. You're good at it. People respect it, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's fun with that.
Yeah. What are both of you up to?
I got an active day today. I got a few sales calls today. I got getting ready for the week next week. Carter won his championship game on Wednesday there, George. So they're off to the regionals next week in Kenora. So that's a pretty big moment in his life, which I'm quite excited about. And Lauren's off to Denver on Sunday for the week. So she's so Uncle Keith here by himself next week. Johnny, like, it's just solo life expectancy work next week. So that's my plans. And Johnny's just sorting life out here today. Johnny, what you got going on today?
I got a pretty full day. I got a couple client calls this morning. I've got just a lot of good productive stuff. You know, that was part of what I wanted for today, was to look at my tasks.
Yeah.
See the joy within all of them.
Yeah. Hey, George, quickly for you, today's topic was about losing ambition, and I shared how I found and I got mine back. For me, it was the journey when I met AJ at Focus, and it was a big pivotal moment in my life. And I'll tell you, Jory, on Carter's last day, one of his last days at Iceplex, I went to the rink early because that facility has such a big impact on my life. The last 10 years, I had a lot of emotion with it. But George, have you gone through a point in your life where you lost some ambition?
Oh, absolutely.
You're like, how do I find it back? Share that with us.
There's time of transition.
Yeah.
And in when there's a transition that's approaching, and we may not be necessarily aware of what that transition is, but it's coming.
Yeah.
There is a little bit, and I feel like there's sometimes it's almost like a feeling of loss.
Yeah.
And
yes,
I've identified with a certain part of my life for so long, and it was great. And then there's this almost like a flatness.
Yes.
And so I love what you said, John. It's going back in terms of the contentment and the joy of where you are right now, but excited and anticipating for what's yet to come. And so I was actually, funny thing was just chatting with my sister yesterday. She called me. It's like she knew. It was her spidey senses. People always say that she and I have spidey senses. And so we were just chatting about, and she's in a phase where she's so pumped of what's to come, and she's been reading and preparing and meditating of what's to come. And I said, you know what, I think I'm kind of in that zone right now of, I know there's something, I don't know what it is, but it's not what is right now. And so I'm trying to still be very grateful for what I have. Very grateful. Yeah. There are people waiting for me to leave a position so they can jump in. They've been waiting for decades.
Yes.
So I think there is always that. And that's what creates the excitement of what we do, because there is a time of, it's like some friendships, right? They're good. They're in a time, and then it's time to let that go. Not that there's anything wrong, but it's just time. And I think that's in our careers as well. That happens. It's the end of something, which is sad because it's been a great thing. And the reason for many things happening, but there's something else yet. Right. And that's kind of the phase that I'm in. I don't know what that is exactly. I know what I typically tend to do well in, and I haven't taken that leap of faith yet.
Yeah.
Because I've always defined myself in a certain role. And so, I think there is that. But I love that you still have to find the joy of where you are, and the respect of the fact we've worked so hard to be where we are. But it's not the end. There's still what does better look like to come. Yeah.
So true. So, and I feel like I'm maybe going through that a little bit too, Jory, with Carter wrapping up his hockey, and he's basically done his amateur hockey, and now I'm like, so next year, what am I doing? I'm not going to the rink. I'm maybe going where he's going to be playing somewhere else. It's this idea of closing a chapter, and Johnny's been reflective on this last couple of days himself, and there is sadness in closing a chapter, isn't there, Jory? And then it's finding a way to know that when the chapter closes, there is some excitement somewhere, but we just don't know where it's going to be and when it's going to come.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And I think that for most of us, that's something that it has to happen.
Yes.
That's where growth really keeps going.
Yeah.
And but it's hard to let go, especially it's almost for some of the work that I do, it's been a security blanket, because that's how people have called me in and have really respected what I do. And so to let that go is kind of scary.
Yes. Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. David Kendall's joining us from Australia this morning. He's painting a friend's place this weekend. He's been ill, but a fatherly figure in the local community. David, that is awesome, man. That's giving back to the community. That's shown some tremendous leadership. Jory, I appreciate you. I appreciate your friendship, and I appreciate hanging out with us this morning. I appreciate you sharing that too. And we don't talk about it enough, I don't think, us as humans, when chapters close, how we feel about that. And because you're going to be going through yourself, right? So Johnny's going through it right now, and it's scary as shit, man.
Yeah,
it is.
And then we can take this scaring means that we just care. And
Yes.
then how do we take that one step forward?
Yes, exactly.
Easier said than done, for sure.
That fear will always drive us to explore the nooks and crannies that we wouldn't if we were scared.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's it.
Exactly. I love it. But yeah, so I don't know, like, both of your stories in terms of what's next to come, but I do know that it takes effort, it takes energy, and a good circle. So
that's it.
Turn to your circle, and they'll make sure that you feel supported. And
yeah, I know what's coming next for you, Jory. You're going to sit back after saying, wonder what kind of quirks that Kurt has that you're like, oh, so that's what he's been doing for the last 20 years that is driving me a little crazy.
You know what? But I feel like if I do that, though,
no,
it's so much more than I do. That's probably
I know. It's why we love them. It's why I love my wife's quirks. Love them.
Most of the time, right?
And you know
that part.
You know, if you're kind of the leader of the pack with doing weird shit,
yes.
You're just better off to just leave that, just to not throw a stone. That's again, you know, I know that if I throw the first one, there's going to be a lot more coming back at me than I can handle. So I'm just going to sit quietly.
Oh, yes. The first time that Kurt actually dished it back out to me, I was like, that does not feel good. And what the heck? But I so deserved it back.
Oh.
But yeah, it was not cool. I was like, what the heck? You're fighting back?
Yeah,
that's not what we do.
Right.
I get to fight.
Right. Sometimes they're like little signals. Like if Terry tells me that I'm chewing loud, she's not really focused on the chewing loud. There's something else that I've done that's got her. That's just the outlet for whatever's frustrating her. So that just tells me, okay, chewing loud is not a big deal. What the fuck happened that she's really been out of shape about? She's just talking about me chewing loud.
That's true, because my dog chews loud, and I think it's cute.
Yes. What's what you're saying, John? What's the real reason you're pissed at me, Terry? Because it's not my chewing right now.
Yeah, you haven't spoke up. So the first thing that's, you know, like talking about chewing is pretty non-offensive. So whatever I did that got under her skin was probably a little bit bigger of a conversation, and she wanted to plop on the table, so she went for the easy kill, which was the loud chewing.
It's funny. I didn't know nothing about chewing until I met with Lauren, and I learned about misophonia and people's feelings about how somebody sounds when they chew and how it bothers some humans, and some humans are really turned off by. And misophonia is a thing, and I learned about that since hanging out with Lauren. So there you go, Jory. I appreciate you. We had Amy Reiner coming with roles. Yes, the roles of what we all carry in life. Jory, enjoy your day today.
Thank you. You too.
Awesome. I appreciate you. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you, Jory.
See you guys.
All right, Jory's gonna get out of here. We're gonna reset here. Johnny, you gonna rock and roll, brother. I'm gonna let you get out of here and get after your day here. I appreciate it. Good conversation. I hope you're feeling better getting out of the lab today than I know you felt okay getting in. I hope you're feeling a little better as you get out of the lab here today.
Yeah, no, I'm in a I don't know, I guess you'd say a positive discovery space.
I love that. I love that. You know, I was going to say something here. Let me just find something here quickly. Before you do go, where is this? Here's something here, Johnny. Quickly, before you do go, I'm going to keep Johnny up for this quick one here is, men, I got something for you guys. Is it aging or something more serious? There's some key signs that you shouldn't ignore, because men, have you ever quietly worried about age-related changes but didn't know who to ask? Well, I want to quickly break down a few different hormonal shifts that might happen along the way, especially after 40. No myths, just clarity. Johnny, we're both aging, man, and knowing the difference between normal aging and signs of something serious can help you tackle health proactively, strengthen intimacy, and maintain a vibrant lifestyle. Here's the reality, guys. After 40, we're going to experience some changes. We're going to have some gradual decline in testosterone, and we're going to and this doesn't mean that you're going to see changes in a lot of things, but you might notice changes like decreased sexual desire, weaker erections, or fewer spontaneous erections, men, when it comes to after 40, right? And importantly, these are normal with aging and not always signs of erectile dysfunction. However, consistency and severity are key indicators of ED. So if you're frequently unable to achieve or maintain an erection, it might signal underlying conditions like heart disease, diabetes, or hormonal imbalances, which require medical attention. And guys, age also affects fertility and reproductive health. Men's sperm slows down, making it tougher to father children, sometimes leading to benign prostatic hyperplasia, which affects urination. Guys, check your experiences. If you got occasional mild changes that are normal, but consistent significant changes should prompt medical consultation. And guys, I would invite you to do checkups after 40, prioritizing your prostate, cardiovascular screenings, and as we get older in life, it's just, want to really emphasize this point that it's easy to keep moving and not keep checking, but it's important to be checking ourselves as we get older. Check prostate. Check your erection, and make sure all your equipment is happening. John, just for a quick second before you go, let's talk about aging, brother, and how we just don't sometimes reconcile with what our brain's thinking with what's happening with our body. Because understanding your body doesn't mean fearing aging. It's about empowering yourself with the knowledge to enjoy a healthy, fulfilling life at any age.
Yeah, it's obviously, as I sit here listening to this, I think there are people probably thinking, man, this sounds pretty damn complex. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, but there's not. Exactly.
Yeah, so I always just try to make it, simple, some bit of a takeaway. So
yes,
if you look at how generally we live our lives today, and you went back a couple hundred years and you looked at how people lived their lives at that time, I forget about a couple hundred years. I'm not sure what the timeline is, but there was a period where almost everybody was involved in some sort of, food creation. Right?
Yes.
It was like everything. Most everybody was involved in a service just to keep us, with food and shelter. So what does that mean? We're outside. We're building shit. We're hoeing stuff. We were different creatures, and because we lived in that way, we didn't have the same problems that we have today. So it's just kind of a general marker. How do you live your life in a way that's more symbolic of the way that we were designed to live? Because if we live the way we were designed to live, many of these problems through aging don't happen till much later.
Yes. And again, we're big proponents on the show, eating healthy, whole ingredient foods. We talked about, fighting immunity with good foods. Staying on track, guys. Listen, we're all going to age. Aging is inevitable. Eating well, sleeping well, lifting, getting those non-negotiables in are going to help with the aging process. And when it's time, guys, go get your checkups. It's really as simple as that, isn't it, Johnny? Go get your checkups, get your blood work done regularly, check your prostate. If you're having problems in the bedroom, don't be embarrassed. This is life. Right? There's things you can do, right? Go and talk to doc. Get some medication, get to the gym.
And it doesn't take much, like in terms of activity and sunshine. The average person has a job where they're indoors most time. They have a 10-minute break.
Yes.
Late morning. They have a lunchtime, midday, and they have another break in the afternoon. If you take those little bits of time and go outside and actually walk a little bit, just that alone will help drastically. We find ourselves, we weren't designed to be indoors all the time. And we weren't designed to sit in a chair or do very little. So just by those two simple little things can kind of start pushing that ripple effect back the right direction.
Yep. Guys, no reason to get up and go for a walk today. If you're going to a meeting, make it a walking meeting. There's my little advice for you today. So, all right, Johnny, let's rock and roll, man. We're going to get you out of here so you can get on with your day. Jimmy and I are going to work towards the community corner. We have somebody joining us here to wrap up here for our community corner segment today. And then I got a big weekend here, and then we're back after it on Monday with the Morning Loop and resuming this wonderful morning daily show with Keith, John, Marty, and the gang here at Mornings in the Lab. Brother, a lot of fun today. You get after it today, bro?
Absolutely, my brother.
All right,
we'll see you. Have a good loop. Monday morning it is. Let's go.
We'll get back to you Monday. All right, pal. Take care, brother.
Right on.
All right, Johnny's going to get out of here, guys. Jimmy and Keith, producer Jimmy's on the buttons. Keith Billis, the host of the lab here, continuing the show. We got a guest coming up here. We got Mark Willis joining us in a few moments in the Community Corner segment of the show. But before we do that, Jimmy, I think we're going to do our creator spotlight in the Community Corner. This is the part of our show where we celebrate folks in the Mornings in the Lab community. Our community, we build it on LinkedIn. We're building it on Substack. Yeah, we're over on Instagram. Yeah, we're on X. Yeah, wherever else for our post-show content. But our live conversations, we stream on YouTube at 8 o'clock Eastern time. We stream it over on X, and we stream it over on LinkedIn, and that's where we're building our communities here. So we obviously love to we like to celebrate folks in this segment of the show, the Community Corner, where we take great humans and celebrate the great work that we're doing. And today, we're going to start over on LinkedIn, Jimmy. And I'm just opening up my notes for this one here. No, that's not going to work over there. So we're going to do this over here. Going to click this button here, guys, and going to click that there. And then I'm going to turn it to this. Yes, the sultry sounds of the Celtic music in my ears. Okay, the LinkedIn Creator Spotlight for Friday, March 28th. Yep. Here's something. Ears up, guys. Ears up. Ears up. A lot of guys out there are living a B+ life. B+. Yep. B+. They've got the job. They got the friends. They got the weekends. They blur it all together. It's like, oh, just one big blur. But on the surface, things, they look fine. Maybe even great. But deep down, they know something is missing. They feel stuck, waking up tired, scrolling their phones out of habit, half-assing their way through life. And it's not because they're lazy or unmotivated. It's because they're running on autopilot, chasing goals that don't actually mean anything. I had a great conversation with a buddy a couple of days ago. I'm like, can you imagine living life where you're just living to work towards retirement? We talk about it here on the show. Yeah, I'm working for 30 years to go become retired so I can go live in Florida or California. Really? So you've wasted and you've wrecked and you've hated your life for 40 years just so you can go live for 20? Is that the kind of life that you want? Right? And then when you try to change, it's all willpower and zero systems. You fall back into the same loops because you're just trying to do everything all at once, or you're trying to do everything that somebody tells you to do. Like, I got FOMO. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, guys. What if getting unstuck isn't about doing more? Isn't about saying yes to everything else? Isn't about trying harder, but about doing things differently? What if the key to leveling up your entire life starts with making just one simple change? That's where today's LinkedIn creator comes in. Today, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends is really excited and ridiculously honored to introduce you to, Jimmy. We're going to introduce you to Tanner. Oops. No, not that one. Not that one. We're going to introduce you to Tanner McIver. Yes, Tanner, there's the applause. Tanner has built a community of men dedicated to living an A+ life, moving past B+, a life where you're not just crushing it in one area, but thriving in all areas of them: fitness, relationships, wealth, and happiness. And in his experience, it all starts with mastering one decision. Here's what it is, guys: drinking less. Now, Tanner's not here to tell you to quit drinking entirely. No, if you want to do that, he invites you to do that. We all know the benefits of not drinking. The benefits we don't need to get into. Plenty of benefits of not drinking. But his system is about learning to control your habits, not letting your habits control you. Because when you master that one decision, we know that everything else improves. Your sleep, your energy, your focus, your drive. It's the foundation that makes everything else possible. So why does the lab support Tanner's mission? Because Tanner's vision is it's for men who align with our vision. He's not just talking about improving one area of life. Tanner is talking about becoming a complete, thriving man. That's the same mission we are here going on with the Business Athlete Performance Lab and Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Real growth, you guys, it requires discipline. We talk about it all the time. It requires intention and a system that actually works. And Tanner's approach to helping men level up is all about finding what works and doubling down. We believe, and so does Tanner. We believe in celebrating guys who are on that same mission. So Tanner, here's how it works, brother. We want to have you on the show. We'd love to have you on the show like our upcoming guest, Mark Wills, to come and celebrate somebody in your orbit. Pay it forward. Share the Mornings in the Lab, Community Corner, Creator Spotlight love with our community as we celebrate you and celebrate people in your world. Tanner McIver. Yes, guys, you want to learn how to quit drinking, stop drinking, and get after it? Go invite the locker room. Go and join the locker room over on Tanner McIver's page. All right, Jimmy, let's keep it rolling, brother. I see Mark Wills in the green room there. Mark, I see you there, brother. We're going to bring you in a couple moments. Just want to make sure I got you over on the vertical. We got you on the vertical on the horizontal. Awesome. Jimmy, the guy's got it sorted out before he's even shown up, man. And I got to tell you, Mark, not everybody gets it sorted out. Some guys just can't even fucking get there. So the fact that you're on both, boom, boom, boom. Get after it, my friend. All right. Now, we also know that we like to celebrate folks on the Substack side of the world, too, which is where we got our guest coming up in a second, Mark Wills. And right now, Jimmy, we're going to go to the Substack Creator Spotlight in the lab. And we got two of them. Oh, baby, we got two of them. Uncle Keith's got more to say today. And here's how it starts. Boom. Yeah. What does real strength look like? Well, I'll show you. Yeah, that's my Jon Andersen impression. Is it powering through pain? Is it hiding what you feel? Is it pretending everything is fine? Or is it having the courage to face what's actually happening inside you and then do something about it? Because here's the motherfucking truth. Too many guys are struggling in silence. I've been one of them, pushing everything down, thinking they just need to be tougher, stoic. But the real strength, it's about owning. It's about owning what's happening in your mind, your heart, and your life. And that's not just some feel-good fluff concept. No, it's something we talk about all the time on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Because why? It's the real game changer. And there are two guys out there who are making this kind of strength the new normal. Jimmy, let's bring him up. This morning, we are excited to introduce you to two names. Jimmy, we're introducing you John McCaskill and Will Schneider this morning. Yes, they're the duo. Yes, the duo. We got a duo right now. We're celebrating the duo behind Men Talking Mindfulness. And they're on a mission to help men break free from the bullshit narrative that says you have to hide your emotions to be strong. I can't. Jimmy. See? You can cry on the show. Yes. John's a former Navy SEAL commander turned mindfulness and meditation teacher. The kind of guy who's been through the fire, seen the worst of humanity, and found a way to rise above it all. Now this dude's teaching high-performing teens how to use, I said teams, not teens, maybe teens, but teams, how to use mindfulness to deal with stress, anxiety, and depression while boosting focus, creativity, and productivity. Will, the other part of the duo, is a master of self-mastery. With nearly 2 decades of teaching experience, he's made mindfulness accessible to everyone. No fluff, no guru nonsense, just practical tools to help guys tap into their potential and live lives they can actually be proud of. What they're doing is perfectly in line with what we're doing here in the lab. They're redefining what strength means, not as something you force or fake, but as something you build from within. Their approach isn't about taking it easy. It's about going deeper, about mastering yourself so you can master everything else. So I invite you, nation, check out Men Talking Mindfulness on Substack, because real power, guys, it starts with knowing yourself. Go hang out with John McCaskill and Will Schneider. They're going to take you through Men Talking Mindfulness to help you get your shit sorted. And there you go. So John and Will, we'd love to have you in the lab. Both of you guys, maybe at once. Why? To celebrate somebody in your world so we can take the Mornings in the Lab light, like we're going to do with Mark Wills right now, and take it and shine it on somebody else to pay the whole experience forward. All right, Jimmy, we did it. Yes, we got the Creator Spotlight Community Corner done. I see our guy sitting in the green room. Not yet, Jim. You're not bringing him up just yet? Nope, not yet. Not yet, Jim. Nope, not yet. Get myself organized here. Yeah. Gonna get myself organized here. We got Mark Wills. We celebrated Mark recently here in the lab. And you might remember him from our Creator Spotlight. Maybe you don't. Who the hell knows? But he's the guy behind the Creator's Playbook, a Substack powerhouse breaking down what actually works for creators who want to write better, grow faster, make money online. Hey, Mark, we should talk. He's been in the trenches for over a decade. He writes, publishing, making all the mistakes that you guys are maybe not making or wanting to make or not know how to make. Well, he's making them. And he's turning all those lessons into a playbook for anyone trying to build something that lasts. So today, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. Jimmy, let's do it, brother. Let's welcome in Mark Wills into the Mornings in the Lab experience in the community corner. Mark, what is shaking, my brother? Good to have you here today. How are you,
really
pal?
good to have you, Keith.
What is shaking, man? Where are you joining me from today, brother?
I don't know if you're getting me. I'm doing good. I'm doing great. And you?
Where are you joining me today from, Mark?
I'm from South Africa, Pretoria.
Yes, that's awesome, man.
I don't know if my internet connection is having a little problem today.
That's okay. We have a little bit of a delay. I can recognize the delay we have there. So we'll take a few seconds and be patient.
I'm from Pretoria.
Okay.
South Africa.
Yeah, that's awesome. What time is it over there right now, Mark? What time is it there right now, Mark?
No, right now it's 3:38.
Excellent.
3:38 is past 3. Past 3.
I got you. So, Mark, we do have a delay here, so we're going to keep it brief here today. But, Mark, tell me a little bit.
I don't know why there's a lag.
That's okay. Tell me.
Is it my connection or what?
It's just it's probably the tariff. There's probably a tariff happening on our connection between Canada and South Africa, which is why they're presenting the whole thing this way. But Mark, why don't you share with my audience about the Creator's Playbook? How did you bring it to life? And talk to me about the influence you were having with your audience. We're having some issues there with Mark there, Jimmy. We're having some issues with Mark on the technical side of things there. So I just pulled Mark down on the side there. So we'll give him a couple seconds here to see if we can get that sorted out. But Mark, we want to get you back onto both feeds there to see if we can get you sorted out here within the community. Let's see here. Got Jimmy working behind the scenes on making it all happen here. Let's bring that back up there. Bring him back up there as well. Mark, tell us about your creator. Tell us about the Creator's Playbook. Mark, can you tell us about the Creator's Playbook? Yeah, can you tell us about the Creator's Playbook? No, I don't think it's working today, Jim. So we're going to bring Mark off here, and what we'll do, Jim, is we'll reset another experience with Mark when we get some better internet, because we're not producing any great conversation or content there when it's all sticky out of the way here. So Mark, here's what we'll do. Mark, I'd like to have you back. Love to have you back and have a further conversation with you, but we need to do that with a better internet connection so we can have an actual conversation here. What I would like to recommend you do is, if you can plug in, that would be great. I find that the Wi-Fi signal might not be giving you the bandwidth you need to have this conversation here. So I would love to get this sorted out. I'm happy to try it again, Mark. If you want to give it one more shot, I'm happy to do that with you as well. So Jimmy, let's give it one more shot here with Mark, see if we can sort it out one more time here. And then we'll see if we can do that. So Jimmy, I got Mark up on the vertical, bring him on the horizontal. Mark, can you tell us about your Substack?
You know what?
No,
check out my internet.
So Jim, we're going to do this. Jimmy, we're going to bring Mark off and we're going to redo that. We're going to redo this experience with Mark in the future. But for today, as you guys know, we celebrated Mark Wills a couple days ago in our Creator Spotlight, the Community Corner, and we're having a little bit of a technical issues here. So we'll put Mark aside. We'll bring him back up in the future. And what that means for us, Jimmy, is we're going to work towards wrapping this baby up and get after the weekend before we get after tomorrow's show. Listen, guys, what a big show today here. What did we get after today, Jimmy? Going to look back at my notes here and do a little bit of reflection. Back to the top here. Let's see here, guys. We kicked the show off with a big discussion around Gary Vaynerchuk, finding a system for you. Here's how the conversation started. Guys, somebody's always telling you to do something. Do this, eat this, figure this out, do that, eat this way, train this way. Use this process, use this tactic, use this app. Here's the thing, guys. You got to find what works best for you. Not what works best for Keith. Not what works best for Johnny or Marty or Jimmy, Melissa, Jory, AJ. What works best for you. And I know in our journey, we're going to have to find ways to figure that out. So you're going to talk to me, you're going to talk to Mark, you're going to talk to a bunch of people. Take all that knowledge and find a process that works for you. It's exactly the message that Gary Vaynerchuk dropped there this morning, which is this idea of finding something that works for you and sticking to it. There's no magic pill, you guys. We then talked about, is your partner secretly weird? Shocking secrets of hidden habits. We got into some fun things in that conversation as well. We talked about potential and the accountability check-in. And then we also leaned into, and Jimmy, here's our long form today, which is what sets high-achieving men apart. We got into 7 daily habits. No magic bullet. What was the number 1? Showing up every day. Yep. What's 2 through 7? I invite you to go back and listen to it. And then we lead into heavily about losing ambition. Losing ambition. We go through life and sometimes we lose ambition. Where do we find it? Is it over there around the corner? Is it in the box? Is it in the closet? Is it in your pocket? Or is it right in front of you? I shared my story about how I lost my ambition and where I found it. What's the hint? It was in the gym. I invite you to go back, check that out. With George Andersen, we talked about 12 foods every man needs for immunity. No, I didn't talk about immunity from jail or from criminal offenses. I mean health immunity. How can you stay healthy? Eat good whole ingredient foods. Stay away from the packaged crap. This is still closed, you guys. Still closed. Yep. And then we wrapped up a conversation with Jory. We talked about protein. And then we wrapped up the conversation today about, is aging something that is something happening with your body, guys, especially when it comes to having erectile issues, or is it just naturally going on? Guys, I invite you to check out that part of the show in the morning, Loop Reloaded, here on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. We got to the Creator Spotlight, the Community Corner. We had Mark Wills join us in the lab and having some internet issues here, so we're going to bring Mark back. Might be a tariff happening between South Africa, and Canada with that experience. So, all right. Well, listen, on behalf of Johnny, on behalf of Jory, on behalf of producer Jimmy, Melissa behind the scenes, and the whole gang here at Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends, I thank you. Thanks for choosing to spend your time with us. And I invite you back Monday, right here in the lab, 8 o'clock. You know where to find us. YouTube, LinkedIn, X, 8 Eastern time. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Jimmy, let's get out of here, brother. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. See you later. See you guys.